Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. This is going to be another quick video because I have a live stream in 20 minutes-ish. So I just wanted to do at least one quick book haul. I had talked about in my last video on the Detection Club Readathon coming up that my mom and I are hosting. So I had mentioned that one of the ancillary authors that will count for the Detection Club, because she was invited, she just wasn't able to join or chose not to join, was Georgette Heyer. And I have a small collection of Georgette Heyer mysteries that I haven't yet read. I honestly fell in love with the covers, and I love the way they feel in the hand, and I love the text, like the way that it's set up. So the only Georgette Heyers I have are in this collection because those are the ones I want. So, oh, this one's still in wrapping. How about that? Okay. So in no particular order, because I don't know order of publication, I have, first of all, let me just show you. Lovely size for the hand. The covers feel nice. Just really pretty. And the text size is really nice and well spaced. You don't feel like you're straining your eyes. I can see this being one of those books that you take to bed and kind of read until you fall asleep, just because it's not terribly hard on the eyes. So this is the first one. I like the artwork they have on the front for each one. So this is Pen Hollow. And Dorothy L. Sayers gave it a nice rating. Then I have here, this is the first one that I picked up in the series because I fell in love with the title, Why Shoot a Butler? So this might be the first one I read. Actually, I already have a bookmark in there, so maybe I'll take this to my specialist appointment coming up. I think I'll do that. Put that there. I was wondering where that bookmark went. Then next to show, I have here A Wind of Blame. And they all have this really, nice edging look to them, plus the picture in the front. Then there is The Unfinished Clue. And as I've said, I haven't read any of them. This one's slightly more beaten up than the others. All of these were used. And this is from the Country House Mystery collection. Behold, Here's Poison. This is another one where I not only fell in love with, first of all, I fell in love with the title, yes, and it's got a fun picture on the front. But also, it was an option for a Goodreads Golden Age Mystery, not challenge, but they're going to do either this or a different Golden Age Mystery. Those are the two leading books for options of what Golden Age Mystery they were going to read. I think it was this month. Now, this one didn't win, but this was the second, the second in the ratings. So that's what made me consider getting this in the first place. And of course, I fell in love with the title. This one is A Blunt Instrument. All the colors are kind of like these it's a very pastel palette. Then we have Footsteps in the Dark. I do love the Golden Age of Mystery and their way of choosing titles. Like, I always find their titles to be they just kind of, I fall in love with their titles. I think they're either fun, they're either kind of witty, or they are just imaginative. They make me want to see them. So this is an interesting style. They went with this particular picture on here. This is, they found him dead. Now, where all the other pictures are pretty clear, this one almost looks like they were going for a cross-stitch look, or like that style of artwork where if you get really close you can see it's just like a bunch of pixels or dots on the canvas, but when you step away you've got the full picture. That's kind of, now to my crafter eye, it looks like they're trying to go with a cross-stitch look. But that's interesting that they chose to do that, because it kind of makes it look like it's like an indistinct picture, but it's purposeful. So those are the Georgette Hayers that I picked up. Let's see. I'm going to continue with the book haul. I was going to just stick with the Georgette Hayers, but let me roll that into other mysteries. I also, and I don't, this was over quite a period of time when I picked these up, over a period of months or so. I've been kind of letting these books build up. I was talking to Genre Books, and I'm going to tag Andrew for these because I know you're a huge fan of Georgette Heyer. I want to say Faith in Books was the other one who's a fan of hers, so I'll make sure to tag you too. Now I'm going to tag Genre Books for this because he said that, because you said you were collecting the British Library crime classics. Now I have a bunch of them over there that I've shown in the past, but these are my newer ones that I haven't really looked at. This one is Murder in Piccadilly by Charles Kingston. Now these won't necessarily, unless you can prove that these are Detection Club members, and I have a list on the Storygraph list, on the Storygraph challenge. I think it's the first challenge that's in the description, because one is for the actual cozy with the Detection Club October through December challenge. The other Storygraph, I have linked is just showing all the authors that count for the Detection Club, because otherwise it's kind of hard to keep track of because there's a ton of them. So this one is Murder in Piccadilly by Charles Kingston. I don't believe he was a member, but I can't remember for sure. Then this is Murders a Swine, a Second World War mystery by Nap Lombard. I think the other one they have marked as a Second World War mystery is Green is for Danger, I believe it is. It's a Christiana Brand. I have that one in a British Library Crime Classic as well. As my first Christiana Brand mystery I believe I read. Maybe. Then this is the Chianti Flask, Chianti by Marie Belloc Lowndes. Now I can't remember if she was a Detection Club member or not. I'd have to check the list. This one, what I like is sometimes they'll have like these little, they'll have these little subtitles here. So like, this one isn't one of them, but here's another one. Death on the Downbeat, an orchestral fantasy of detection by Sebastian Farr. I feel like he might have been a Detection Club member. I can't remember. I'd have to check. But yeah, this one is musically based. And they have a couple, you can say there are a couple that are theatrical mysteries, a couple that are biblio mysteries, a couple that are theatrical. One is actually the book review I have loading right now that I'm about to put up for Quick Curtain. That's another theatrical mystery. And here is a bunch of short stories that are theatrical mysteries. So the person who put everything together is Martin Edwards for this short story collection, and he was a Detection Club member. But I think you'd have to look through the short stories and make sure that the particular author that you are reading for the short story is a Detection Club member. Like this one here. Oh, I can never pronounce your name. The story is I Can Find My Way Out, and it's I'm not sure if you can see that. Ngaio Marsh. Someone told me how to pronounce that, but I always forget. She is a Detection Club member. I believe Julian Simmons is as well. So there's a short story in here called Credit to William Shakespeare. Oh yeah, After the Event, Christiana Brand. So there's at least several. Oh, here's another one. The Affair at the Novelty Theater by Baroness Orczy. So, and here's one by Dorothy L. Sayers. Blood Sacrifice. I believe Margaret Steen is also a member. The View of the Audience. These might all be Detection Club members. Quite a few of these are Detection Club members. So if you want to read some short stories for the Detection Club, there are quite a few in here. Then here's Weekend at Thackeray. I'm almost 100% sure that this one is a Detection Club member, but you'd have to check to make sure. Oh no, that's why I recognize the title. He's not a Detection, or that's why I recognize the name. He's not a Detection Club member. He's the one who wrote Quick Curtain. So this is Weekend at Thackeray. I'll be interested in seeing what I think of this particular book post having read Quick Curtain, and you'll see what I mean when that review goes up. But I'm interested. This is a shorter book than Quick Curtain. So yeah, I'll be interested in seeing what I think of it. Now, I do have enough time to show a couple of others. Here's another Golden Age mystery. This was the one that actually won the Goodreads Book of the Month for their Golden Age mystery, or they happen to be Golden Age mysteries that month. But this is Molly Thines, The Draycott Murder Mystery, a Golden Age mystery, 1928. I love this cover. I've never read her work. Now, the text is a little bit close. It's not nearly as nice as the Georgette Heyer setup, but I mean, there's not a lot of books that are as nicely set up where it's so easy to read. Ooh, I got a free bookmark. So, yeah, 1928. Interested in eventually reading this. I just didn't get around to reading it this month. I've been in a bit of a reading slump, as I've mentioned, and I think I probably would have been better served to have tried reading one of the Georgette Heyers, where it feels like an easier read because of the spacing. Because I took one look at the way the paragraphs are spaced in here, and I was like, I don't feel like it. So I probably should have just picked up and read Behold, Here's Poison, or something like that, to kind of deal with my reading slump. Now, the last two I want to show one is a mystery and the other one is not, but these count for Detection Club. So I had Spider's Web. This would fall under the challenge of a Detection Club member's play that was turned into a novel. So the play was written by Agatha Christie, and Charles Osborne turned it into a novel, and he did an amazing job. This is my favorite of her plays that became a novel. I had another edition of this, which I gave to my mom because the text was huge. And honestly, for me, it was so big that it was kind of annoying, but for her eyes, it's easier. So I gave her the large print copy because I want her to read it anyway, because as I've mentioned before, it is my favorite of the plays turned into a novel. And now I have a more reasonable, because it's still not teeny text, but at least I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm reading text like that's huge. I should have brought the other for comparison, but I'm sure Mom will show it at some point if she hasn't already. And then the final one I want to show also would work for the Detection Club. This is a Father Ronald Knox book, not a mystery. This is Memories of the Future. And it says that it is set in a future world where technology and societal structures have evolved in intriguing ways. The story is presented through the lens of a fictional memoir or account, reflecting Knox's interest in both speculative fiction and the satire of contemporary norms. So this is satire slash, I guess, sci-fi? Completely different genre than all the rest that I've seen written by Father Knox, because I have a couple of mysteries of his. I have a couple of his religious works, and then there's this kind of weird outlier. Now, I guess he has a couple different ones like this, but yeah, Memories of the Future. I don't know if I'll read this one this time around. The text is really small, and I've been in such a reading slump that smaller text is just not going to pull me in right now. But I snagged that, and that is my mystery slash Detection Club book haul. That's been a long time in coming, and this actually works out really well that I'm going to be putting this out right before Cozy with the Detection Club comes out. So I hope that you enjoyed this book haul, and I will see you all the next time. God bless. Bye.